Hi guys, it's Angie with Fun Endeavors Tie-Dye Lab. Today I'm trying out Dharma's first 3 brand new ice dye colors. If you haven't heard, Dharma Trading Company formulated 3 brand new colors especially for ice dyeing. So I'm going to use those on some Incline Twists and let's see what the color splits are like. They developed them specifically for color splits, so I'm excited to see what they came up with. The first shirt, I'm going to do the twist kind of about the armpit area. So I'm going to grab both layers of the fabric of the shirt, lift the shirt up off the table, and just begin to twist it. Once I have the shirt fully twisted, I'm going to place it down inside of a piece of vinyl guttering. Once the shirt's down inside of the piece of vinyl guttering, I can continue to twist the shirt and get the twist a little bit tighter if I want to. This shirt takes up pretty much the entire length of the guttering, so I'm not going to attach a string to it like I normally do to keep it from sliding down. Instead, I'll go ahead and add a small wiffle ball down at the bottom of this piece of guttering when I incline it. I'm going to go ahead and add a layer of ice over the top of the shirt. I personally think I get better color splits, or a lot more color splits, when I add the dye over the top of the ice, especially with this Incline Twist design. That's one reason why I really like this design, is I think it showcases color splits really well. The shirt is twisted and it's long enough that it allows plenty of space for that dye to flow and to split. Once I have the ice over the top of the shirt, I'm going to go ahead and incline it before I apply the dye. The setup that I'm using is I'm using a plastic container. I'm placing one end of this piece of vinyl guttering down in the bottom of the container, and then I'm leaving the other end hanging off the edge. So the shirt is at an incline. I'm going to add a wiffle ball to the bottom so that my shirt doesn't slide all the way down into the container. And then I'm going to touch the ice up just a little bit before I begin applying the dye. So for this first shirt, I'm going to use kaleidoscope eyes. And so I went out to Dharma's website and I read their description of this color. Their description says, a changing rainbow of colors on a variety of fabrics and fibers. The color will accent a different color depending upon the thickness and fiber. Turquoise, red, green, purples, blues, yellow, and browns arrange themselves magically. Try both over and under the ice. Okay, so let's try it over the ice. I'm going to sprinkle the kaleidoscope eyes over the top of the ice. Now I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of additional dry soda ash over the top of the dye, and then place the shirt aside and allow the ice to melt. Okay, for the second color, I'm going to start this twist down in the bottom corner. I'm going to grab the bottom corner of the shirt, lift it off the table, and begin to twist. This time I'm having to use a longer piece of vinyl guttering because this twist is going to be much longer than the first shirt. This piece of guttering is about 5 feet long, so I am going to take and tie a piece of kite string to the end of the shirt, and then take the other end of the piece of kite string and attach it with a small clip to the end of the piece of guttering. I'm also going to place a wiffle ball down in the bottom just to make sure the shirt doesn't slide if somehow the kite string comes unattached. I'm going to adjust my twist just a little bit inside of the piece of guttering, and then I'm going to add ice on top. So for this shirt, I'm going to use Phoenix Flame, and out on Dharma's website, this is their description. Born from the flames of creative fire, this color splits into a range of reds, oranges, yellows, greens, and burnt ember browns. Set your imagination to take flight like the legendary phoenix itself. Well, that sounds like an exciting color, so let's see what it looks like. After I have all the ice on the shirt, I am going to place one end of this piece of vinyl guttering down inside of a tote that has taller sides. Because this guttering is so long, I need to make sure that the tote that I place the shirt in is sturdy enough so that it doesn't flip over. I'm going to leave the other end hanging over the edge. And then I'm going to apply the dye over the top of the ice along with a little bit of dry soda ash on top of the dye. Once I have the dye and the soda ash on top, I'm going to place this shirt aside and allow the ice to melt. Okay, let's make the final shirt. And for this one, I'm going to start the twist up on the shoulder of the shirt. So I'm going to grab the shoulder of the shirt and begin to twist. By the way, for these last two shirts, I went ahead and sped the video up quite a bit, but if you want to watch it a little bit slower, you can click the settings icon on YouTube and choose your playback speed. You can either speed up or slow down the video. For this shirt, I can use a piece of the shorter vinyl guttering that I have. These pieces are about 2.5 feet long. Again, the shirt takes up most of the piece of vinyl guttering, so I'm going to add another wiffle ball down at the end so that the shirt doesn't slide out into the container. I'm going to incline the shirt in another tall-sided container, and then over the top, I'm going to apply Alchemist. So Dharma's description for this color is alchemy, a seemingly magical process of transformation. This color will transform before your eyes from a base metal gray to hues of purple, teal, blues, and greens. Take your project on a magical journey. Okay, so that sounds fun. Let's do it. Over the top of the dye, I added some more soda ash, and then I placed this shirt aside to allow the ice to melt. So after the ice melted on all three of these shirts, I took them out of the pieces of guttering, placed them down inside of a larger or longer tote that I have that has a metal rack down in the bottom. Then I placed the lid on the tote and placed the shirts outside to process where it was really warm. It was in the 90s. I left the shirts outside in the heat for about 36 hours before I began rinsing them. So I rinsed all three of the shirts the same way. I took them to my utility sink and I began rinsing them in cold water to rinse out the soda ash. Because they weren't tied, I just untwisted the shirts, warmed the water up to hot, and continued rinsing in hot water to rinse out the excess dye that didn't bond with the fabric. After I rinsed each shirt for a little while in hot water, I wrung it out and then placed it aside and went on to the next shirt. When I had all three shirts rinsed really well in cold water and in hot water, I ran some really hot water in my utility sink, added some Blue Dawn dish soap to the water, and I placed all the shirts inside to soak together. When the water cooled off, I changed it out and I continued that soaking process until my soaking water was remaining almost clear. Then I put all 3 of the shirts down inside of my washing machine together and I washed them on a hot water cycle using a little bit of Dharma's professional textile detergent. Okay, so I've washed all the shirts, dried them and ironed them, and let's check out these new colors and see what they look like. Okay, so let's do the shirts in order. So this is the Kaleidoscope Eyes, and what do you guys think about this color? I think it looks really cool. This color definitely has a lot of color splits. I have various shades of green, some turquoise, a little bit of purple, some brownish colors, some yellows, and the green is pretty vivid, kind of more like a lime green on this shirt. I think it's really cool. By the way, I know that these colors react different based upon the fabric that you're using. So just for reference, this shirt is a Gildan Ultra Cotton shirt. Okay, so this is the Kaleidoscope Eyes, and now let's look at the Phoenix Flame. Okay, so what do you guys think about this one? I think this one's really cool too. So this is the one that I started down at the hem or the corner of the hem. That's where I started the twist. And so the dye is streaking up the shirt toward the shoulder. And with this one, I have a variety of yellows, oranges, some reds, and some of the yellows kind of have a green hue to them. I don't know, I think it's really pretty cool. The yellows really vary in shade too. You know, I have some really bright yellows and then, like I said, kind of some of those greenish tinted yellows. I can definitely see where they got the name Phoenix Flame. It looks like a phoenix rising from the flames. Okay, so the last one is Alchemist. And what do you guys think about this color? So on my shirt, I ended up with some purples and blues, turquoise, greens, a few pinks even. Just a lot of colors on this one. And this is the one where I started the twist up on the shoulder of the shirt. So the dye flows down toward the corner of the shirt, which I think is a cool effect. By the way, this is also a Gildan Ultra Cotton shirt, and I forgot to mention it, but the Phoenix Flame shirt was a Kirkland brand shirt, which I purchased from Costco. So they're all 100% cotton, but the Kirkland fabric is just a little bit different. Okay, so let's look at all 3 of them together and kind of compare. So as far as the colors go, I think they're all really cool. All the colors have a lot of color splits, and I think this is a great technique to show off those color splits. On an incline twist, the dye has plenty of space to move down the shirt as it flows down the fabric. And as it does that flowing, it just kind of splits out into all those component colors. And I think you really get to see the colors that make up a dye with this technique. And these colors definitely don't disappoint. They have lots of color splits, and I think they're just really gorgeous colors. I am so happy that Dharma has come out with the ice dyed colors. You know, quite a few other dye suppliers are doing ice dyed colors formulated specifically for the ice dyes and for cool color splits. So I'm really glad that they got in this game and are now doing these. They've released the first 3, which are these, and then I think in about a month, they're going to release 3 more. So I'm really excited to see what those 3 look like because I'm very pleased with these 3. I think they look really pretty. As far as the shirts themselves go, I purposely did the twist in a different area on each shirt so that you could kind of compare the way it looks, placing the twist on a different part of the shirt. So I don't really have a favorite as far as where the twist is started on the shirt, but what about you guys? Do you prefer it like on the side, down at the hem, up on the shoulder? You know, do you have a favorite area where you like these twists to start? And what about the colors? What do you think about these colors? Do you like them? Do you have a favorite? I kind of lean toward the Alchemist just because I like that more or brighter purple and blue combination. And I really love the green. You know, one of the really cool things about these dyes made specifically for color splits and for ice dyeing is the colors that are put together. If you were to take and put just green and purple together on a shirt, wherever those colors mix, the odds are pretty high you're probably going to end up with some brown in that area. And whenever you do these cool dyes like this that split into the purple and the green, you don't really have a lot of that brown. And I think that's really fun. I mean, it's cool to be able to put colors that you normally couldn't easily put together on a shirt with some of these ice dyes. The same thing with the kaleidoscope eyes. You have some really cool colors in there that you wouldn't normally put together. And I think that's what makes these dyes so fun and interesting to look at. So I really love the colors with the dye over the top of the ice, and I can't wait to experiment a little bit more and use these colors under the ice and see what they look like. So I think that Dharma did a great job formulating these first 3 dyes. I think they're all really cool, and I can't wait for the next 3 to come out. But what do you guys think? Please drop me some comments down below and let me know. And if you've enjoyed watching the video, I sure would appreciate it if you would like it and if you'd subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you'll hit the bell, you'll receive a notification whenever I upload a new video. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a great day.